Billionaire investor Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading books, even at an age of 90. Elon Musk attributes his success to daily habit of reading books. The average number of books read by a CEO in an year is around 50. Now you must be wondering, why I'm telling you all these facts. Well, this is the information age wherein we are living. And this is the age wherein it is not your muscle power but your mind power that matters. It is not your brute strength but your brain strength which matters, right? And I've even heard that the better you learn in this information age, the better you earn. And I'm not talking about earning only financially, but then the holistic person, the successful person you become when you hone your ability of learning better. Now we are talking about success here, right? Now success is a tricky thing, and it does not comes from luck or fate or magic. But the good thing about success is that it leaves clues. It definitely leaves clues, and if you can model those strategies and traits of the successful people and work towards them by taking a big action, a massive action, no one can stop you from becoming successful. And this is not my personal concept or my personal theory. In fact, Tony Robbins has been doing this for years now, right? He has been coaching and teaching only this particular stuff for years. Now let me talk more about these successful people whom you can see on the screen. And if I ask you to identify some common traits amongst them which makes them successful, what would they be? Now, I am sure you must agree with me here. I'm sure that they are celebrities, they are billionaires, they are world leaders, right? They are passionate. They are committed to whatever they are doing. But there is one common trait amongst all of these successful people which is the most important, and that is that they are lifelong learners. Now, this is exactly the point I want to make and lay stress upon. We need to hone the mindset of being a lifelong learners. The strategies and techniques comes later in the picture, but then before that, if we have that mindset clarity of this being a lifelong learners, that will actually help us a lot. What's happening currently in current state of affairs? Most of us have this attitude that I have graduated from the college and I'm having this comfortable job and I'm settled now. Now just pay attention to this word, guys, settled. Many a times we use this word, the settled, right? Settled thing. Now, if whenever you say this particular word settled, you send a message to your subconscious mind that there's no need to learn more and I'm okay where I am right now. In class 7th or 8th, you must have learned about a concept called sedimentation, wherein the mud settles down in the water, and once it settles down, it stays there and does not rises. The point I want to make here, ladies and gentlemen, is if you choose to settle, you cease to grow. If you choose to settle, you cease to grow. You know what? Even employers nowadays prefer to hire individuals who have this mindset of continuous learning. Whether that is, these hard skills of AI, machine learning, blockchain, etc., or whether they are soft skills like communication, collaboration, team building, all these skills, the new smart is what these organizations are looking for. The new smart. We must have heard about the new normal in recent 6 months, 8 months, but then this is the new smart what organizations are looking for in the times today. So let's debunk this myth about this bad mindset of settling into a cocoon and staying there forever, and let us embrace this new reality by developing a mindset of being a lifelong learner. Guys, my name is Bhomick, and today in this talk I will be talking about my favorite and time proven strategies which can help you to become an effective and a smart learner. We are surrounded by smart devices like smartphones, smart TVs, smart watches, and even now smart houses, right? But then have you ever thought that how brain smart are we? Have you ever thought of that, or how we can become smart learners, right? Well, if I have to name one skill that can help you become brain smart and have no limitations in saying that, it would be learning how to learn. That is the one skill you need to master, which is learning how to learn. And I personally feel that this is the most important skill of the 21st century, guys, over here, right? Now let me tell you to do an exercise with me, okay? I would like you to bring out two fingers here like this, right? Put them on your head. Yes, just follow me and just put them on your head. Put them on your forehead. Put them on your eyes. Put them on your ears. on your nose, on your chin, guys, chin or cheek. This is cheek, my dear friends. Right now, this is what the basic learning, the basic component of learning is, right? That is attention. In other words, we also say it to be, concentration as well. Now, we all know that, we need to concentrate to learn the information which is in our hands, right? And since our childhood, right, all the elders, whether it is our parents, our teachers, all the elders, they have been telling us only one thing, and they have been telling us to concentrate, to focus, to pay attention. But unfortunately, no one has actually told us how to do that, how to concentrate. Well, if I tell you to go and play, to go and swim, to go and ride a bicycle, you exactly know what to do. Why? Because you have that mental image in place when I ask you to do those specific things, right? But then when I ask you to do concentrate, when I ask you to concentrate on your studies, there's no image which is getting there, right? And that is why we don't know the meaning of concentration. What in this world is concentration, right? So here I will be unfolding the definition of concentration to you, right? Now tell me a movie which you saw before the COVID, that is, 8-9 months back in the cinema hall. What was that movie? And if I ask you about that movie, I am sure that 70 to 80% you guys would be able to, tell me the entire story, the entire screenplay, the dialogues, songs, etc. 70 to 80% you will be able to recall. Now tell me, did you concentrate while watching the movie? Did you apply these blinkers like this to watch that particular movie, right? Or did you revise those movies, that particular movie, n number of times? I don't think so, right? You tend to remember that movie because you enjoyed that movie, right? And similarly, if you like a particular subject, for example, you like science, right? And the science teacher enters, and the next lecture is of science, of course. The teacher enters, your body language is like this: wow, the next 40 minutes would be awesome, I would be enjoying these next 40 minutes. And you know what, those next 40 minutes just run, and you feel like a jiffy. They just run in a jiffy. And the most important point is that whatever the teacher has taught in the class, you are able to absorb it as well at the same time. But then imagine likewise, if you do not like, suppose, say, history, right? And history teacher enters the class. Now your body language is like, oh my god, again next 40 minutes, how will I be able to, cope up with these 40 minutes? And next 40 minutes become really horrible for you, right? So this is what actually happens, right? Concentration is actually the state of mind wherein you can tap into the unlimited potential of your mind and harness it to learn something new. Well, all learning, I would say, all learning is state dependent. Whenever and your state of mind has actually the direct impact on how better you can learn. And hence, in whatever subject you get interested, the concentration flows automatically. Wherever your interest goes, the concentration flows. This is a $1,000,000 fact, guys, that our mind tends to concentrate automatically on the subjects of its interest. Now this is the new definition of concentration which I just told you, that it is related to the state of mind. It is a state of mind, and it is not a verb. Now in my talk I will be sharing 2 secrets of concentration, as to if you can apply those secrets to any subject, to any information you want to learn, you will be able to learn it quite fast and in a smart way. So let's go and hear about those 2 secrets of concentration. Now when we understand that for our concentration, interest is an important ingredient, right? It is the basic ingredient, and we understand that. And if we try to understand what all are those things wherein our mind gets interested automatically, it will be a big win for us, right? Now let's try and understand. How many of you remember the stories from the childhood which are there on the screen? For example, this tortoise and hare story, the greedy dog, the thirsty crow. How many of you remember these stories? And I'm sure that I would be seeing 100% show of hands over here that yes, I remember. Now if I ask you, how many of you remember the integration and differentiation formulas? How many of you remember the trigonometric formulas? Based on my experience of what I have been taking the sessions on, probably 20 to 30% of the audience say yes, I do remember them, but a bit hazy. And and even those 20% are those who are still using those particular formulas in their day-to-day life. Now the question here is, a very important question here is that these stories were taught to you when you were in kindergarten, right? And these trigonometric formulas, these integration, differentiation were taught to you much later. Ideally, you should be able to remember the trigonometric formulas much more robustly than these kindergarten stories. But it is exactly the opposite. You know why? Because the way the stories were taught to you, they were colorful images. They were colorful images. They were animation. They were emotions related, and there were some bizarre things happening. Animals talking to each other. Where in world that happens, right? Animal talking to each other. So the way that information was told to you was really unique, right? And that is where you got to learn. You actually got to learn them and remember them so beautifully that you still remember them. And unfortunately, what happened as we progressed through time, and we actually jumped on to bigger classes, these images and movies were replaced by the text, which was boring, which was exactly boring. And hence the problem started, because our mind understands better, comprehends better in form of images, information in form of images and movies rather than text. And this is a really, really good point, a very important and a vital point. Now, if we understand how our brain works, and if we can follow the same strategy for learning, it will definitely help us, right? And as I just told you that our mind, our brain comprehends images and movies better than text, let us try this small experiment. If you can just close your eyes for 3 seconds, right? Just for 3 seconds, and think about an elephant. Okay, now open your eyes and let me know, or tell yourself, what did you see? Did you see an image of an elephant, or did you see the spellings spelled out of an elephant? ELEPHANT. What did you see? I'm pretty much sure that 100% of you guys would have seen the image of an elephant and not ELEPHANT. So if these images, these sounds, these movies, these emotions are so important, why don't we add these images and movies back to our curriculum and make them interesting? And once it becomes interesting, the concentration will flow automatically into your learning process, right? Even in the subjects you seem to be you don't have interest, and you say no, it is boring, even in those subjects you will be able to learn better and smartly, right? And this process of adding the images, sounds, emotions, and these bizarre things is called visualization, right? And that actually takes me to the secret number 1, which says visualize any information by adding these modalities, by any of these modalities, not necessarily all the modalities, and make it interesting. Once you make it interesting, the concentration will flow automatically. It will actually flow automatically over here, right? So this was the secret number 1 which I wanted to share. Now coming to secret number 2. Now imagine there's a nice afternoon here, right? And you are alone at the home, and doorbell rings. You see through the window or the door hole, there is a stranger out there. Now tell me, will you let him in? Absolutely not, right? But imagine at the same time your dad calls you up and says that there will be a person named so and so will come to the house, and he would be dressed up in a particular manner. So give him those papers which are there on the table, and let him in as well. Now tell me, will you let that stranger in? Definitely you will let him in, right? Now the point here I want to make is that same happens with our brain when we try to learn a new concept or a new information. Whenever we try to learn the new information over here, a new information tries to enter our brain resists it. It says, no, I don't know you. You are a totally unknown thing, a totally unknown information, stranger information to me. I will not allow you. Now here, if we can somehow associate this particular unknown information to something which is known already in our brain, it will be a win for us. If you associate this particular unknown information to something which is already known in your brain, the information will be yours forever. Now this brings me to the secret number 2, which says associate any new information which you want to learn to already known information, already known and existing information in your brain, and it will be yours forever. Now when we have learned these 2 secrets, learning without application is like nothing. So let us apply these secrets, right? And this is what I have been doing for many years now. One of the area wherein students really struggle is the English vocabulary, right? They want to improve their English, whether it is spoken, written, or the listening skills of English. One thing is common to all, and that is a good vocabulary, right? So let's apply these two secrets to see how you can enhance your vocabulary. For example, you have to learn this word mitigate. Okay, now understand, I'll be applying those two secrets. The second one first. Mitigate is a new word to me. Mitigate is definitely a new word to me. I don't know its meaning. There's no image being formed when I listen to this word mitigate, right? Now what I'll be doing is, let us break the word mitigate. Let us break the word mitigate into mitti ka gate. Into mitti ka gate. Now mitti ka gate is something which is there already known in my brain, right? There is an image, there is a movie or a image over here of mitti ka gate, right? Now mitigate, you have linked it to what? Mitti ka gate. Now we will be visualizing. Now just close your eyes for takes 30 seconds and imagine that you are sitting on a sand beach, and you are building a mitti ka gate, the sand castles. You are building a mitti ka gate, and your friend is coming and pouring water onto it, and you are scolding your friend that don't do that, otherwise the strength of the mitti ka gate will go down, will lessen, right? Now you can open your eyes and you must have seen this particular image, right? Now what will happen next time when you come across this word mitigate? Your brain will directly take you to the mitti ka gate, and again this particular story, this visualization will come into your brain automatically. You know why automatically? Because this is something which is of interest of your mind, right? And you will actually come to the conclusion that mitigate means to lessen, right? So this is how actually I have built an ebook as well for this, which has 200 words explained in the same manner. Well, those were the two secrets of concentration. I hope you like them. Now let me talk you through and take you through probably towards the most wonderful gift that we have, and that is our brain. Now let us understand this a bit more. You must have heard about the two hemispheres of the brain, left and right? Now the left brain, it helps us in thinking like logic, the sequencing, the linear thinking, the mathematics, the facts. Whenever you have to indulge yourself into these things, your left brain comes handy. And whenever you have to think about, you have to imagine, you have to do some intuition, or you have to do some art, some music, music instrument you have to play, something related to feelings, visualization, daydreaming, your right brain comes into picture. Now what happens here. Now this is actually a very good thing, that a very good tool that we are carrying here. But what happens with us is really bad. What happens is that when we sit for study, our left brain understands the logic, right? It says, yes, I should study to have good grades, to earn good grades, right? But then our right brain, what does it say? Right brain wants what? Fun. Right brain says, I want to see the movie because it is funny, because it is fun for me, right? The left brain says, I need to finish the chapter. The right brain says, oh no, I want to finish the Netflix series. I want to finish this particular series, right? I want to see who was the villain, who was the murderer, who was the culprit. Left brain says it's important for me to study. The right brain says it's important for me to update the Facebook status as well. Why? Because I'll be getting those likes, and that will be giving me fun and gratification, and I'll be enjoying that. And you know what happens? Just because of this thing, there is a constant divide, there's a constant conflict which is running between left and the right brain. It's just that your left brain knows where to go, but your right brain actually distracts you a lot, and it tells you that no, I'm not going that way. Now if there is a way that your left brain is aligned, if there is a way you can also align your right brain here towards your goal, that would be for your success, and that is called whole brain learning. And there are some steps to achieve the whole brain learning, right? One is definitely creating interest, right? As I just mentioned in the secrets of concentration as well, if you create interest, this is what exactly happens. Your left brain is aligned and your right brain also gets aligned, and it is there on your goal. Second is reward yourself. When the left brain says that you need to study, right brain asks you, what is in it for me? What is that I'll be getting if I adhere to your saying. Now you need to reward yourself, And that is where when you reward yourself, there is a chemical called dopamine which gets released in the brain, and that is a happy chemical. And whenever you have that happy chemical coming in, your right brain becomes active. The third point is goal setting, very important. Now this is again a magnified version of the point two, which is reward yourself. Whenever you are telling your brain to learn something new, to study for your exams, it must be aligned to your long-term goals, right? And which should be a big pleasure that you should be showing to your right brain. So once you have those images, those visualizations being done as to what you will be achieving in future, if you invest your time in studying today, your right brain will be aligned to that particular task. And the easiest way to have your left and right brain aligned is doing super brain yoga. Now what is a super brain yoga? Let me illustrate that to you. If you just hold your earlobes with your thumb like this, in a cross position like this, right? And what you have to do, you have to do squats. You have to go down, you have to come up, and while going down, inhale, while coming up, exhale, while going down, inhale, coming up, exhale. Now this is again that uthak batak which our teachers made us to do, right? So, and this has a scientific backing that when you do this particular thing, exercise, do 30 reps over here, at least 2 or 3 times for 40 days. This will actually bridge the left and right hemisphere of your brain all together, and this is a really good way of combining the left and right brain together and achieving the whole brain learning. Now this brings me to the end of this talk, and I would like to leave you guys with this particular thought, which says from Alvin Toffler, who says the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So guys, I'm leaving you with this thought. This is Bhomick Sen signing off. Thank you very much.